Okay, so hi everybody. Um, I wanted to discuss um, the current energies. Okay, so we're in March now, and I've been probably since January, I have been in a hermit mode, keeping to myself. I've been having a lot of downloads and insights and um a lot of integration, a lot of upgrades in terms of my body, my DNA structure has changed. I've been requiring different types of foods, and sometimes I've been on certain foods, sometimes I've been off certain foods. Yeah, right. Um, I've got quite a bit that I want to say, and in this video, so I might split it into two parts. So we'll if I do, I'll put it as part two, so you know that it's the same one. Okay, so okay, the energies. What can I say? All right. Um, January was one of the most solidest months we went through. In terms of how long it took to get through January. Um, so I would say January and February we had a lot of upgrades. Okay. Um, I'm wondering if these upgrades were preparing us for the March alignment, which is happening, I think, next week or the week after. So that by the end of this month, that there is an alignment that is going to happen, astrology wise. That is very big for us, because we're living in these times, living in good, great times. As I'm doing this video, it has miraculously started to snow and the sun is shining very bright in here. Yeah, so back to what I'm saying. Yeah, and it's been very heavy. We've had the beginning part of February, we were going through intense, and when I mean intense, integration. Okay, the energies that we have had come onto this planet, it has been, it's been a lot. Okay, and I haven't used my Reiki as much as I should have during that time, but I feel like I needed to integrate it without the use of the Reiki. But I have been working with the rainbow energy. I've been working with the rainbow energy ever since it got here. But I feel like at this time of the year, this rainbow energy is very strong. Maybe it's because this is the first time it came. Maybe it's because there was a portal it came through, and obviously year upon year now that portal it opens at that time, because we don't know at what point in space that energy is coming through. We have the same type of alignments happen year upon year, which we are unaware of most of the time. But yes, I've had a lot of health changes. My body's changed um, in a good way, and yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to scan and remember. But there's been a lot of upgrades going on, and it's been hard at times. I've had a lot of sleeping. I had a lot of crown chakra activations happening for me. Um, depending on where you are on your journey, depends on the type of activations you get, because we're all on this journey, but we're all on it in different levels. Okay. So don't think just because I have a crown chakra activation that you didn't get any activation, because we're all being activated in different ways. I've been on this journey for 10 plus years. So, it's a testament to why I'm probably having a crown chakra activation. But yeah, it's been changing so much. I feel like we had some shifts in the timeline. And I don't like to really say that whole timeline stuff because it's not what we think it is. But I've felt like, well, I'm in between two worlds kind of thing, and I'm kind of, it's like a dreamy aspect, right? And that's how I felt along the way as well. People who I'm, helping, have had a lot of things come up in their life for dealing, to be dealt with. And that has been a major thing too. A lot of things are coming to a head, and a lot of things are being called for us to deal with them, and for us to make peace with them. Yeah, I want to say make peace with them, because it's not about when you go through the dark night of the soul, and I'm going to do a video on my dark night of the soul and what that meant for me, and how I perceive the dark night of the soul to be, because everybody's perception of it is different. But from what I've been shown by my higher being, my higher guides, and stuff like that, is the dark night of the soul, and the issues that raise up past traumas, past hurts, things that have happened to us. They come up for us to, not just for us to remember and relive them again and be in that traumatic that traumatic phase of our life again, but they come up for us to evaluate, for us to review them, look at them, see the lessons we learned from them, and integrate them. Because at the end of the day, when we have these traumas, we fragment ourselves. Okay, so if you think back to Harry Potter, okay, that's one of the most well-known stories, okay, and think about how Voldemort fragmented pieces of his soul into items. We kind of do that with trauma, okay, but the way that it's done for us, this is what I've seen and I believe, is that we don't fragment our traumas and our things that have happened to us, our memories, into items. Maybe we do and we don't know, but for the most part, we fragment parts of our light. So parts of the spark, parts of our being, okay, our soul gets fragmented. We then store that in different parts of the body. It can close chakras. It can cause chakras to reverse and start spinning in the reverse direction to what they're supposed to be spinning. So that's how I see us fragmenting ourselves. So when the energies ramp up and they get intense, and these things are coming up, they're calling us to deal with them, and they're calling us to integrate them, because we're being called to not just to be in the light, because it's one aspect. You've got the light and you've got the dark, okay, and everybody says, okay, the dark is bad and this, that, and rare, but if you can look beyond that light and dark, okay, because that's like the separation thing. If we're coming back together, if the left and the right side of the brain is fusing together, if the heart is going to start working symbiotically with the gut again, and if all these different things are happening to us, right, it's a coming back together. So it means that light and darkness, it needs to be in balance. The whole point of this thing is to walk in balance, walk in the middle of this whole thing. So you're walking, and on the right, you're walking in the center, which means that you're balanced. On the left hand side might be the light, and you've got your light on the dark on either side. Okay, I'm a Libra, so for me, the majority of my life is being in balance, because when I'm not in balance, that's when I'm off kilter. So if I look at it in that way, I'm looking at it as, okay, then, that that negative or that dark thing that I went through in the past, it's come up for healing. How am I going to deal with it? I look through the memory of what happened. When I look through that memory, I can see, you know what, me being here right now where I stand in the now, I can see why I needed to learn that. You know, we're our own worst critics, but what we also need to remember here is that when you look back on your pasts and the things that happened to you, if you can see the lesson, that's how you know you've grown, right? That's how you know. If you look back at it and all you can see is I was a victim because this happened to me and that happened to me. Yes, at the time you may have been the victim, okay? But you know, when you're looking back at the past and you're here in the now, right? What have you learned from that experience? How has it shaped the person that you are now? Because you're not the same. Well, you shouldn't be. You should be a different person now. You know, the past, it does define our futures, but it also changes us. We're constantly changing from the things that happened in the past. You know, there could be something that happened in the past. You won't do that thing again, and it's set you on a different course. So when you look back at that thing, you're like, you know what, I made that decision and it was the best decision I made because it's led me to this now. You understand? So then you're able to make peace with that trauma or that tragic thing that happened, or, you know, that whatever it may be. You look back and you say, yes, it's made me who I am today. You integrate that part of yourself and that part returns to you. And then you start to become whole, right? That's what I see this thing, this ascension thing, us getting rid of the baggage. That's what it's about. You know, it's about you bringing ourselves back together, unity, unifying everything as one. Everything's so fragmented and separated right now. And it's the pieces of the puzzle coming back together. So yes, that's what I wanted to say about that. I think what I might do is, in part 2, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I am going to discuss just a bit about food and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm going to speak on that. Okay. So anyway, back to the energies. So yeah, so we're at this pinnacle point now in March. Okay. And you know, it's asking us, I feel like the energy wants to work with us. Okay, it's not here to offend, hurt, or cause pain. It's here to uplift, heal, and assist in this rising energy that's here. You know, I feel like we have gone gamma because when we look at space weather and we look at the Schumann resonance and we look at all these things that's happening, when you bring all of that together and evaluate it, we've gone gamma. Okay, we're electromagnetic. We've gone gamma right now. Okay, so the body has changed. The cells are oscillating at a different frequency. You know, those who are not wanting to shift are seeing these health problems. Though the people who are refusing to move with this energy and be in flow, okay? And I'm not just saying it off a whim. You know, I have had my times where I have resisted it and then it ends up resulting in some kind of ailment, or be it mild or strong, you understand? But this is the result of it. And you know, higher beings always trying to show me, Charmaine, listen, you know, this is where you have to change. You have to constantly be on this high vibration, because the minute you lower it, this is when you're going to start to see the problems arise. So, you know, we're moving through this I don't even know what it is. We're just moving through this energy right now. So the last 2 weeks of February into the first week of March in the UK, we had major storms. Okay, storms that I have not seen in a very long time. Okay, we had floodings here, not particularly in my area, but close nearby. Yeah, and we had winds that blew fences off, trees fell, a lot of things happened. Now, I went out into the energy, okay, because I was being called to go out there to read what was going on. And I heard the wind say, "We are the winds of change." So I feel like the winds that was coming through and this change that we had, we could have been going through some sort of vortex, or that we were shifting, right? We were shifting, and I could feel the change. I felt the change within my own self, and it caused me to really hibernate and sleep a lot. My counterpart, my partner, was also doing the same thing, sleeping a lot. Really, sleep is the best way that we're gonna integrate and upgrade through this process. During the waking life, our lives are busy. We've got lots of things to do. We're looking after our family. We're working. We're doing all this kind of stuff. So it's hard in the daytime. Although the energy is there, you might get the slight headache. You might feel nauseous. You might feel a bit dizzy, off kilter. Those are your signs to let you know that energy is present. And whilst you go to sleep at night, the energy taken in from the sun and from the daytime is then integrated at nighttime, and then that's when all the upgrades going on, your cells are doing what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. So yes, we're up to this point now. I felt it important to do a video right now because I feel a bit excited as well. I feel that I feel excited. I don't feel scared, but it's that excitement where you get butterflies in your stomach and it's like, oh, what's going to happen? How is it going to change? Or, but it's all good. Even, even down to how, they've created this scenario with this so-called virus that we have now, apparently taking over the world and all that kind of stuff. Stay in your knowing, because if you're awake and if you're aware, you will see things planted that are artificial, things that are not real. You'll be able to see through the veil. Trust in your own knowing about that situation. Okay, I'm not sitting here and saying to you that that does not exist or that is not out there. Okay, but it's the same as any other virus that is out there. It's just whether your frequency is low enough to receive it. If you keep your vibration high and above, and stay in your zone and your little bubble, and just create your bubble of bliss, those things are very unlikely. In fact, I know that they will not be able to penetrate those higher frequencies. Okay, and just stay away from the rubbish of the rubbish that's been spoken out there. Just that would be the best thing I would advise right now. Be in your knowing, get excited for what's going to happen. Like I feel like sometimes I have my low days and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? Why am I in this situation? Why this? Why that? And then I look at it and I think to myself, you know what? This is one of the best times we could be living in right now. We're witnessing a change in it's one of the biggest changes. We're going from a masculine to almost a feminine, kind of aspect, but I don't even want to say it like that. I feel like we're going from a masculine back into an equal masculine feminine energy. That's what I feel. I feel like the feminine energy is meeting the masculine energy. It's being healed. It's coming together. It's fusing together as one. You know, we've got the two suns in the sky. That's binary. You know, the sun we know of is a masculine sun. Okay, so how do we know that the second sun that's come is it could be a feminine sun, which would it proves, you know, that the feminine has returned. Okay, yes, we've got three suns in the sky, right? So if you want to go there, we can say, okay, that's the masculine, the feminine, and then the inner child, or you know, the soul, or whatever. But either way you look at it, and whatever aspect you look at it at, you know, you can see that there's a fusing, there's a coming back together in unity within our own consciousness. Okay, now I want to do lots of talks about all of the things that are out there on YouTube right now, in terms of like the twin flame thing, the soulmates, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I want to talk about the food. I'm going to talk about a lot of things, and I would love for you to come on the journey. I'd love for you to, you know, be a part of it, and hopefully gain some new insight into looking at things in a different perspective, and not just looking at it from one way. And I feel like what's great about social platforms and YouTube and platforms like that is that people are getting the word out, and it's a good thing. But I also feel like there might be some people that, you know, they getting the word out and they create a fear around it. And I'm not about the fear thing, because I look past that, right? I look past it, because when you look past it, that's when you see, that's when you actually see. Okay, and I don't just judge things off my two eyes. I always in introspect. I think that would be the right word to use. I always introspect, and I always internally read things before I look at it outwardly, because I'm not trying to project what's being shown through the two eyes. Okay, because when you look at the telly, it's a lie vision. Okay, it tells lies to your vision. So I try to go off what I'm seeing with nature, what I'm seeing with the people around me in my vicinity. Okay, I look at what my interactions are. What energy am I reading from that? Okay, is it matching up? Is it lining up with what other way showers are saying? Okay, and if it isn't, where does the infiltration happen? What's going on? And that's how I use my discernment. You know, I also have my own insights and my own downloads, you know, from my connections with my higher being, and, you know, and the other groups and the other beings that I'm in contact with. So, you know, I always use my discretion with things. So yeah, it's just to be mindful. Again, once again, be mindful, you know, and always look at your surroundings before you judge, and before you make decisions on things. Always look at your surroundings. Okay, and always look, if does your surroundings reflect what's being told to you? Okay, anybody can tell you something, but does your reality around you, your day-to-day life, is it showing you that? And if it isn't showing you that, then that's something you need to question, and that is something that you need to look at as, who am I listening to? Who should I be taking in that information? That information may not be for you, you know, walk away from it. You know what I mean? There'll be some things that I say to you that you can resonate with, and there'll be other things that I say that you might not resonate with. But once again, it's a learning curve, you understand? And it's where, that's how you know how much you're growing within your own spirit and within your own soul as well. So I will say that because I used to listen to a lot of teachings and teachers and stuff like that, and some of the things now, you know, it served its purpose at the time. But as you continue to be in your now, and because things are ever changing, you know, those things may not be as valid anymore. And those things, you know, they may not weigh as much as they did before, because everything is ever changing. So all you have to always, please, always just be open, okay? Don't be in fear about things. Be open and be receiving. Okay, the energies have come here to help. They haven't come here to hinder. They've come to help. Okay, and you know, they've been here for a very long time. I mean, I probably would say I first noticed it back in 2002. Okay, maybe they've been here before longer. I've heard people say it's been here since the 80s, which would have been when I was born. Okay, I've heard people say it's been here since the 90s. This thing's been going on since the 90s. But it's whenever you come into your knowing that you realize, you know, and you just have to go from your standpoint. But yes, thank you for listening to me today. I hope I've helped you know, empower and uplift anyone who was listening to this, who may have needed to listen and hear this message. But yeah, just stay strong, stay in your knowing, receive these energies as healing energies, because that's all they have ever done for me. Okay, and know that you're being supported, okay, in these times. And we're also living in beautiful times as well. Okay, so once again, thanks for listening. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.